back for our live Q&A. Christie Moran here again for another Wednesday, and I also wanted to welcome Janene O'Connor as well.
Hello, everybody.
We were talking last week about our stories because we're both in this space at the moment where we're having to delve into the past story, and we thought what a great topic to get on here and talk to you guys about and see where you're at and, you know, what you can add to this conversation as well.
Past is yours. You have to own it. It still triggers every now and again. It will still come up every now and again. Really, it's about what you do with it when it comes up. That's the art. If there's any art in managing that past version, it's what you do with it in that moment.
Yeah. And I don't know about you in the work that you've been doing, but for me, I find that there's two versions. They can really get stuck in the story and it's just this reliving and their story is always their present moment.
Yeah.
Or on the other hand, it is total avoidance, not looking at it, pretending like it didn't happen, not going to go there. Have you had that experience as well?
Absolutely. What I'm laughing at is the second version was me. I talk about my story as in, for me, I wrapped it up in this little box and I put it in the back of my mind, hid it away completely. And not only did I hide the box away, it was always a secret. I never exposed the fact that I'd been, abused as a child. I had incest and raped and a lot of stuff that was quite traumatic for me in my younger years. But I never wanted to own it. I wanted to deny that truth.
Yeah.
I uncovered my story and allowed myself to actually admit that that was true for me in my upbringing. Yes, a lot of tears got shed and a lot of stuff happened, but I hid it away. I compartmentalized it and I hid it so that I didn't have to face that truth.
Yeah. It can have such a huge impact either way. I guess the message that I really want to share with anybody that's watching this is to find the balance between the two. And that is not easy. It is not easy. And as you say, Janene, no matter how much you've done the work, it can still trigger. Not on the same scale as it did in the past, but it can still trigger. So how do you get that balance between being an allowance for the story, it being part of your past, but just as a story and a story that you can talk about and tell and it's a part of history, but it doesn't own you anymore, but also not living in it. Like, how have you created that balance?
This might sound really extremely simple, but there are a couple of things that I do consistently, and one is to focus on my breathing.
Mm-hmm.
And I did this only recently on that live that I was doing when it started to, I was literally crying. I thought, oh, that's interesting. I'm having the reflection. And I took myself back. As I was uncovering it, I was reliving that moment. So I literally took myself away from it and disassociated. So I thought, okay, I'm having that experience. I was having that feeling. And I removed myself out of that like a camera looking at myself, and I went, oh, that's interesting. I'm experiencing that again. And then rather than ignoring it, I breathed into it. And the simple art of focusing, removing yourself and then breathing in and just observing how that feels is what I really tend to do mostly.
Yeah.
So it allows it to be there. It still happened. I don't ever deny that it happened. I own it. It was my experience. But the truth is, it is past. I don't want to live in that past. I don't want to stay in that version of me, because the newer version of me is a newer, brighter, better, faster, stronger, all of the other things that I want it to be. That's how I do that.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And I'm very similar. It is that, oh, yeah, that's interesting. What's that? And being open to it being there and coming up and looking at it. And I like to say to people, have the energy of hugging it. That is what I mean when I'm saying be an allowance of it, be open to it. It's like, wow, I can actually, hug that version of me and go, it's okay. Like, yeah, it happened, but we don't have to stay here. We don't need to keep experiencing it. We can move forward together kind of thing. So yeah, that's really beautiful. And the breathing, most definitely. Getting into that space, just, hand on your heart and just, I am safe, I am safe. And it's the same thing. It's just focusing on the heartbeat just to recenter. So yeah, that's really beautiful.
I've
Really.
just come up with something that I think I do on the fly, because that's how it always happens.
Yeah.
It's AAA process. It's acknowledge first, allow it to happen, and then acceptance of it as it's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's when we try and fight it, try and ignore it, try and pretend, or we align and agree and jump right into it,
Yeah.
that's when we end up in trouble. So yeah, it is that. Just staying in the middle, staying in balance.
And then focus, aligning yourself to where you really do want to go. So once you've accepted it, allowed it to happen, and then focus and literally change your direction as to, okay, this is where I was. Where do I choose to be in this moment right now?
Yes, yes. And I know we both really focus on that future creation.
Yeah.
We're not here to problem solve. We're not here to fix people. You are not broken. We both do work from that space of, this is about, what do you want to create instead? Okay, that thing happened and that's okay. And let's be an allowance of it. Let's let go of the pain and the trauma around that. But in doing that, where do we actually want to be instead? What do we want to create? What do we want life to be like and feel like? And what do we want those experiences to be, so that we can go to the universe, hey, here's the roadmap. This is what we are working towards. This is what we're creating. Now let's let go of everything that gets in the way.
Yeah. It's kind of like there's a fork in the road and you get to choose which one you take. So there's a road or a path or somewhere to play, and you can take the left or the right, and there's no right or wrong. It is simply a choice that you're making in that moment of, this is where I'd like to go, and I believe this choice will help me to get there.
Yeah, yeah. And I know for me, when people are coming in, it's quite often because they're at that fork in the road and they're going, I don't know. I don't know which one's going to create what I want. I don't even really know what I want. I just don't know. I'm stuck. One of the things that I will get them to do is touch base with their values, to start to hash that out. But even probably more than that, it's about going internally.
I was just going to say exactly. It's feel into the truth of yourself. Yeah.
Feel into it.
And this is the beauty. Everybody knows that they've got this inner guidance system, and that emotional charge will always just feel good. It feels light. It feels correct. Yeah. And that's what I call truth.
Yeah.
Feel the truth that just literally lights you up, and it feels good as you speak it out.
Yeah.
And that lightness is the guiding light, if there is a guiding light. It's that exactly, hand on the heart. Where does it come from? What feels beautiful is just always going to come from that space.
Yeah. And it's that really quick initial feeling that you get before all the fear and the doubt and the everything else jumps in and goes, no, don't do that.
I'm not good enough. I can't do that. I don't even know how to start. Where do I begin? Where does it? Oh my God.
That's just the resistance. Yeah, that's the resistance.
Stay here.
Yeah. We can let that go. That's fine.
And Christie, you're spot on. It's that fleeting, instant flash of a moment of knowing. And it's choosing into that and knowing that, okay, I acknowledge this and ignore that, because that is going to keep going.
Yeah. And that's it. That then is that, I guess, key to the thing that we want to create. Yeah. And we can start to build on that and go, what does that look like? And what does that feel like? And really start to create a vision of that we can step into and really embody and feel and connect with. And that is that pin in the roadmap for the universe, that feeling, that energy. And yes, there will be the noise in the head and all of the crap, but that's okay, because that's what we can.
That's called being human.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. We are humans having this human experience in this, planetary moment, and being human means you've got a brain and you can think about what's going on.
Yeah. And that's where you and I get to have the fun, because we get to help people let all of that go and then see them take new steps and do things that they didn't think was possible, and it just becomes so much fun.
New creation is so beautiful to watch unfold and see what people think and feel, and then taking that aligned action towards whatever it is they choose, left or right path, whatever.
Yeah.
That is the beauty. That's the bit that's where I get the most joy, watching that unfold.
Yeah. Me too. So Janene, you're an intuitive success coach, and who is it that you actually work with?
Excellent question. I love working with people who have gone through a similar experience to myself. Some childhood incident, whether it's abuse or incest, that's creating a feeling of, you don't even know that it's what it is, but often it's the cause of some future feelings that stop you from having success. And that sabotaging and limiting stuff that happens, stopping you from being able to even make that decision of, do I go left or right on that path?
Yeah.
I work with people who've had that past experience, that trauma, and help them predominantly to remove that stress and stop that emotional charge from coming up as often, and removing that resistance to step into that future version that they want to choose into.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And I already know the answer to this, but I'm sure there's people watching, that have got the question, is that really possible? Is that really possible?
Absolutely. Look, I am in my 50s now, and I have lived my life for, I'd say, the first 40 years in my old version of me. And I've spent the last probably 12 years really trying to figure this out for me. But I was doing it from a problem-solving point rather, trying to fix me. I did so much work and so many courses and so much learning. God, I'm an avid book reader. I love reading about others' experience, so I can take that gem of wisdom. But the truth is, you can move through it. But it starts with stepping up, being courageous enough to, say, look, this is my past and it happened, and that's my old story. What I want to create is a new version of me, a new story to unfold.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really similar to, I guess, my story. I've been, working on me, trying to fix me for, the last 10, 15 years, something like that. Same thing, reading books, going to courses, doing all of that stuff, trying to fix me because I was clearly the one that was broken. And it's only the last few years since that I've really recognized that I'm not broken. I'm human, the same as everybody else here. We are just human.
Yeah.
We're not broken. We're having a human experience, and our experiences, our beliefs, our self-imposed limitations, all this stuff that we're carrying is creating this resistance to the life that we want to live. And, I just find so much joy in being able to work with someone who's feeling stuck in their life, who's, reached that crossroads like we talked about before, or, the kids have left home and now they're kind of going, now, who am I? Yeah. Like, I had this identity, which was this thing, this mother or this person in this job, and I've been busy doing that. It never, and now that's gone, and I don't know who I am anymore. And reconnecting with who you are and what makes your heart sing, and stepping into that and letting go of that resistance, that is just beautiful. Just beautiful.
Part of our joy is seeing other people succeed. I love watching your results. I love seeing what you're doing for other people. There's so much value in how you create that. And I just love seeing that end result unfold for other people. As success, I just love seeing people succeed. So more success, whatever that means for the individual, that person, it's so unique. Success for one is so completely different to the other person and to the next person. And there is no, you have to make $1 million or you have to, have an extremely big business. It could be that I'm a brilliant mom, or my value is I'm a family leader. And as a matriarch, that's what I value the most.
Yeah. And if that's what makes your heart sing, well, then that's it. That it doesn't need to be anything else. That is your success. And that's, we tend to measure ourselves against reality, the expectation, what our families, parents, siblings, friends, whoever, expects us to be. And we measure ourselves against that and we fall short because we're trying to measure ourselves against their expectations instead of just really stepping into who do I want to be and what makes me happy. So yeah, bringing people back to that. And it sounds so simple. And I guess the concept is simple.
It really need that person outside of you to be able to help you unfold. Because what I've learned in my experience, as I was getting close to finding my truth, I needed a coach to help be separate from me, because you cannot think in that same space that you've created it.
You know, I don't want to look at the stuff that I don't want to look at. And I'm very good at not looking at it. But when I have that coach there to ask that hard question or to come at it from a different angle, different perspective and put it in my face, it's like, oh, yes. Thank you.
And I had that moment a number of times.
Yeah. You can't do that for yourself. You can't do that for yourself. And our unconscious mind is brilliant at making up those stories and cataloguing them and bringing them back up whenever, you know, we get close to a situation that feels similar. But that's the job of the unconscious mind, to keep us alive. So it does that job brilliantly. And it has, for some of it, served us in the past, like you say. But if you're wanting to move outside your comfort zone, as soon as you go to take a step outside your comfort zone, your unconscious mind is going, whoa, hang on, stop.
Yeah, not safe.
Not safe. And in actual fact, taking that step outside the comfort zone might actually put you in a safer position than you were before. But your unconscious mind doesn't know that. So that's where it's so important to be able to go, well, what do we want to create and what does that look like? And that brings up all that uncomfortable, all of that stuff from the unconscious mind in order to be able to let it go and move forward with ease.
Yeah.
You know?
And glory.
Yeah.
And fun and peace and all of the good fun stuff that we want, which is what I believe we're here on the planet to have, is that experience, that life of living in the human body.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go all woo-woo on you, but I really know there is a whole nother playing field, literally, to be, you know, so much more fun to be had if you choose into.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So on that, we might leave it there. So Janene, where can people get in contact with you if they want to?
Probably the quickest way is through my Facebook group that I've set up recently called The Overcomers. If anybody has had any past trauma or any life experience that you feel might be stopping your success or limiting you from being the success that you want to become into, whatever that is for you, just come over there and request to join.
Excellent. Pop the link into comments and I will stick a link in there for my video training as well. And I trust that many people will get so much out of this conversation that we've shared today. So thank you very much.
Oh, my absolute pleasure. It's always fun to play. See ya, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Have a great Arvo, evening, day, whatever.
Bye, everybody.